Um, yeah, my name is Ilian, and today I won't be talking about any of the Cisco particular solutions. So if you're interested in anything you hear, it will be more of a conceptual academic talk. If you're interested in any of our solutions, please reach out to me, my colleague from Cisco here in Greece, or friends from Ericsson Greece, with whom we have a number of projects in the region. So I want to clarify first one thing. Cloud calling, because it might sound a little bit confusing, like what is this cloud calling? We talk about any calling technology which is not based in the premises of a customer. And here we talk about enterprise calling or business calling. So anything that is traditional PBX, which is in the premises of a company, a bank, a lawyer firm, or anything like that, this is not what Cisco considers cloud calling. Anything that is in the public cloud or it's in the service provider cloud, the telecom provider cloud, is what we call cloud calling. So as everything else, and some of the previous speakers talked about the new technologies that are emerging and everything that changes here. Same happens with the talking. Traditionally, it was just a dial tone line. You call, you say something. Later, in the last 20, 25 years, things moved more and more into the mobile side. But lately, things are starting to change, and we talk more and more about unified communications and different ways of collaboration, and having all this artificial intelligence and everything else. But all the surveys and all the observations on the market show us that voice calling is still the most essential tool. And voice and video, okay, or any sort of remote communication that includes the voice. So surveys show that 71% of knowledge workers, the people who actually are involved in communication with others, customers or partners, clients, and so on, 71% still call often to every day. 65% prefer to take the business calls from a desk phone or a dedicated business phone. And 91% of all users believe that voice communication continue to be essential for the work. And in many cases, a call is much more than a call. It's a way to add some personal touch. It's a way to tell a joke. Those who work with me know that this is, the way I work usually. So it's a way to show a little bit extra, to get a bit more information. An email or anything that is, traditional digital chat and so forth is quite limiting in the way to get any sort of immediate feedback, any sort of back information from the other party. There's also a very embedded security and reliability in the call. You usually recognize the people you talk to, so you don't have to verify yourself with all sorts of digital fingerprints and passwords and so forth. And it's also a very essential way for quick and immediate communication in case of emergencies or any sort of announcements. Also, it's we should not forget the people with sight impairment to whom voice is the only way to communicate. And I will give the way we see the evolution of voice calling is the same evolution that we have with the old ways of listening music. In the past, you remember, you like music and you either tape it from the radio in some cases, or you create a mixtape from your favorite stuff, and then you can listen to this music in the car or somewhere, and you share it with friends. But at some point, you might want to listen to the same song again and again. You might want to have different order. You might want to rearrange things. And this was pretty much impossible in the old days. I mean, you have to tape it with 2 recorders, you remember. I guess most of you remember. So it was quite exhausting work. Today, what we have Spotify and services like that, or Siri and Alexa, where you just say, well, create Ed Sheeran playlist, and there you go. You can listen and rearrange everything extremely efficiently. So the same evolution happens in the voice calling. Before, as I said, you have the old way of dialing you know, for hours, and you get the number wrong, and then you have to dial again, and you had the poor quality, and sometimes the duplex, those who remember. And today we have high definition, instant delivery, video options, and everything from that perspective. So in terms of the way services, communication services evolve, we have all the telephony and unified communication services that already exist and are expected from the customers. But then we have a lot of things where the business-to-consumer segment, companies like Facebook, WhatsApp, messengers, Viber, and so on, are very good at. They create this instant connectivity. They create this richness of adding additional data, additional sources, additional interest with the people you want to communicate. And in many aspects, the traditional business telephony lacks those, right? So we are trying to add more and more in this aspect to make the experience, the user feel of using business telephony similar to the way they experience it with these disruptive technologies on the consumer space. So things like AI-assisted communication. Imagine you enter in your office and you immediately know who is the next person you're talking with, when is the next meeting. I have a meeting with somebody from the speakers here, and I will get information about their company, the work background of the person I'm going to meet, what is the stock option price of the company, and so forth. Things that will really help you and enrich you in the upcoming conversation. There are things like simplified administration, mobile integration, which is essential, and also experience with wearables such as smart watches and smart headphones and everything else. And, well, there are a few companies who can really deliver such technologies. Our company, Cisco, is one of them. But the service providers and the companies working in this field usually wonder, how do we differentiate with the other service providers? Right. What do we do better? If everyone is using essentially the same suppliers, the same networks, how do we differentiate from each other? Because in the old days, it was easy. You focus on, we have the better network, we have the better speed, we have the better connectivity, and that was all it mattered. But how do we differentiate today where everything is kind of the same? And then there are disrupting markets and disruptive markets and disruptive technologies. And how do we get ahead of the competition? And very frequently, we look what the competition is doing, and we try to do the same. And that's what usually is called the red ocean strategy. We try to go into the same bloody water with all the other sharks, and we try to fight over the same fish, and we just try to be the bigger and stronger shark. That works great for some, but doesn't work great for everyone. So usually the approach that we recommend for our service provider customers is to deploy the so-called blue ocean strategy, which is essentially create a market of your own, okay? Move to the clear waters where there's nobody else competing with you, who is not chasing the same fish that you do, and just change the rules of the game. Some examples of traditional red ocean companies are, for example, the taxis. They have the same rates, they have the same cars, they have the same color cars, and it's more or less, you can expect the same service from them. There are companies like, I don't know to whom, many of you, if it would mean something, Sears, the largest retailer in US, which filed for bankruptcy last month, but the largest retailer basically created the department shop experience, and a company like BlackBerry, which some 10, 15 years ago, pretty much everybody had either a BlackBerry or Nokia, right, phone. And what we have now, we have Uber, which not in Greece, but in most other markets, essentially is eliminating the needs for traditional taxis. We have companies like Amazon who are universally shipping in the countries where they're present. They universally ship and displace more and more on the traditional retail segment. And you have a company like Apple, which I would argue that most of you have either iPhone or Android these days, right? So all these companies took a look at the market, And they said, well, we're not going to go in the same market. We're not going to follow the same rules that these others are doing, and we will try to make things different. So, but how you make things different? It's actually very simple, and I'll make one example with pizza. Maybe in Greece I should have done it with the Greek pizza, you know, but okay, too late. So, with pizza, you have usually similar ingredients, right? But you have widely different results. You know, you can have good pizza, you can have average pizza, you can have fantastic pizza. And sorry that I'm looking at American brands. I hope most of you will have knowledge about them. So, yeah, these are the ingredients in the pizza, and one of the most important ingredients is cheese. I have a point with this, so bear with me for a second, okay? I know it's very common, pizza and cheese doesn't go together, but just bear with me for a sec. So, anybody, okay, I jumped the slide. This guy, the Cheese King, James Leprino, his company delivers the cheese to all the 4 big chains of pizza stores in US, all of them. Okay, so they use the same cheese, all of them. However, they have completely different positioning. On one side, we have Domino's, which Domino's Pizza delivers. Okay, so they focus on delivery, they focus on ease of use, they focus on the digital journey. So most people deliver these days through an app, and it's very easy and very convenient, and it automatically will deliver from the store which is closer to you, so you don't have to dial the particular one. Then you have Papa John's, which is focusing on best quality, better ingredients, better pizza. They have the same ingredient, okay, but it's better. And then you have Little Caesars, which is kind of like the fast food pizza. You get 2 pizzas for the price of 1. So it's a low-cost pizza, again with the same ingredients, okay? And then you have, probably familiar here, the most from all of them, Pizza Hut. And their slogan is, no one out-pizzas the Hut. But they have the same ingredients. So, however, these companies took the same product, essentially the same product, with the same ingredients, and they have created wildly different market experiences. And each of them have managed to carve a market which focused on the customers who are interested in the specific thing. So if you are into delivery and you want to have quick and efficient delivery, you probably go to Domino's. And if you want higher quality, perceived quality, you go to Papa John's. And Little Caesars is the price leader. And Pizza Hut is actually managing to be the jack of all trades. So it can do each of these things. But surprisingly, it's not the leader in any of these categories. That's why they're not listed here. So we see this in most of our markets in a similar way. Cisco and I come from the acquisition of Broadsoft. We have the relationship with pretty much all the service providers. However, in most markets where we have more than one, and Greece is one of these markets where we have a good portion of the service providers here as customers, we see that each operator can manage to differentiate and create a specific user experience, specific focus that is unique to them. And I'm going to rush through this because running out of time, but there are different areas where this differentiation can occur. And if any of you are interested in how we can assist you in creating a unique differentiation for your product or for your service, please come out and reach to us. Lastly, the expectations of the market are going much wider than what you can do only in voice. So I hope this was interesting and enlightening enough. I have a few more slides, but run out of time. So feel free to reach out and talk more with us. Thank you.